Lancaster-Lebanon Intermediate Unit 13, Instructional Media Services, provides Safari Montage for all of our districts and members. So if you take a look at Safari Montage, this is a quick tutorial to be able to show you some points on what Safari Montage is and how you can use it. Now, first of all, notice that the unique quality with Safari Montage is that it has exclusivity to PBS content. And you can see there are some other providers, but to access, I'll show you how we access it in just a moment. But it is LDAP setup so that it uses the teacher's regular username and password, as well as for students, if you're using students' usernames and passwords. So just to get a quick idea of content that is in there, you can see there's many recent additions and many highlights, and Safari Montage continues to add a lot of additional content that we're able to use. In order to access Safari Montage, you want to go to the specific link, safari.iu13.org. Now, this link should already be located somewhere probably on your Media Centers page, your librarians' web pages that they might have access and give you access to. So when you land here, you want to choose your specific school district first, and then enter your school username and password, as this is linked to your school system already. So whatever username and password you use to access your materials at school or your sites at school, Safari is linked to the same. Now, what I want you to notice here is that when you first log into Safari Montage, you'll see at the very top that there's a dashboard that we're landing on right now. There is a search page, subjects, standards, to search by subjects, to search by standards, playlists, so that when you find material, you'll save them into an active playlist so that you can access them later. And then there's some other ones here that we're not going to use too much today, and some may be a little bit different depending on which version of Safari we might be running. So when we first start, notice that the player is on the left-hand side, and nothing's in there right now. And I also have some recent media. So if I would click on any of that recent media, it's just media that I've opened up before, it's going to automatically work on pulling that media in. And notice it's a black box for a little bit because it takes a while for that video to then load onto the system. Notice that it's playing in this browser and this viewer, this player right here. Notice that we have the normal functions. We have the CC to turn that on, turn that off, and we have to be able to make it a larger video, of course, to expand that video across the board, and hit escape to get out. So it's the standard video materials that are available, but what's exciting with a lot of these is that Safari Montage has exclusivity, as I said earlier, to some PBS content. So when you're searching for a video, you can go by this search right here, or you could just do a quick search up here. It's going to take you to the same landing page. So if I go to this quick search here and I type Venezuela and search, it's going to bring me to that same screen where it has all the search filters. Now what I want you to notice is that there's selection of other types of media available in Safari Montage. So the videos that I'm on right now that are 9, there's 30 images, and then there are no numbers for these other ones, so that means there's not media for Venezuela for those particular ones. We can specify the grade range if we would like. We can show what type of media we want, so if we only want to be able to showing the videos, we could do a search and it's only going to show us those actual videos that are in there. So if I hit search on that, you'll see that it's only going to show videos, it's not going to show anything else. But I'm going to also turn on those images and hit search again. So we can see if I click on that images tab, what images of Venezuela are available. So between these images, if I scroll down, notice that they give the type of image it is, the type of audience that it caters to. Notice that the vendor is listed over here, wherever the media has come from. Notice on the left-hand side, I can just click on the media, which is the same as play. I can download the media, because in this case they're just images, and I can add it to a current playlist. So I already have a playlist open. Notice my active playlist is showing up here as another sample. All right, I can go here to my playlists, and I can see all of my playlists that I have available. So here's a new playlist, a playlist sample, a sample playlist. And what I would do is I can create a new playlist by just clicking on New and entering a new topic by chance. You don't have to enter the rest in here if you don't want to. And it's saving to my playlist, and I'm going to click on Save. So now this new playlist that I just created is Venezuela, and notice that Venezuela is now marked as my active playlist. So now I'll go back to that search. It's just easy enough to type Venezuela in the search button. And in this case, we'll go back to these images here. And I want to add this flag to my current playlist so that it's in there. And if I scroll down, maybe I was looking for some other type of image that I might want to, maybe Simon Bolivar. I'll add him to my playlist as well. Now with any of these, I can also just click on the image. So if I scroll back down to Simon and I click on Simon's image, what we'll notice here is that I've already added it to my playlist. Here I could download it. All right, here I could get permanent links to this image. So if I click on the permanent links, notice it opens up a QR code that I could take a picture of, or I could take a screenshot of that image to be able to put it somewhere else. Maybe I want to add it into a Word document. Maybe I want to add it into my LMS, whether I'm using Schoology, Canvas, Moodle, or some other LMS. Notice that it gives me a direct link to it as well, and then it also gives me a summary. So those quick links, permanent links in this case, are very helpful to be able to get back to that resource. Now that resource is available in not just images, but also the videos. So if I take a look at some of the videos here, notice that it shows me the video, it shows me that there's a quiz with it, and that who it's from. All right, if I click on this quiz here, it'll show me the actual quiz. Now I can do a couple things here. I could take these questions and ask as a group in perhaps into some small group instruction, and we could just ask as a group. I could print it out like this and have students actually take it while they're watching the video. Or I could even put it in a Word document, and once it's in the Word document, I could import it into Schoology, perhaps, or some other LMS that allows you to import a Word document with specific parameters that I could put in it so that it actually creates the assessment in my LMS. So it works either way that way to be able to use it. Notice also with that quiz, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a view answers to the quiz, just so that you would have the answers if you'd want the answers. And I could just back browse, or I could go back to search results to get me back to the video. Now let me click on the video alone. When I click on that video alone, it's going to bring it up here in the viewer. Now, if by chance you go to play this viewer and it's not working, it might say plugin needed. You'll need to contact your tech services department for them to install the latest Safari Montage plugin if this player is not working for you. Notice that there's some supplemental resources available here. In this case, there's some standards of how it aligns, which standards it pulls from, that this video particularly goes to. And then it also has the quiz right here. Notice that I see that it's also part of the 9 to 12 content and K to 12 content. That's not as significant for me. All right. And I can then play it if I want to just play the video. I can add it to a playlist if I want to add it to that playlist. All right. Notice again that I could view in a new window if I just want that window to pop out. All right, or make it larger. Notice I can also set the specific start point of the video and the end point of the video if I don't want them to see the same thing, the whole thing. I just want my students to see part of it. I'm going to click Add to my playlist. Now the beauty here is that it's added to playlist, so that now I've done all of the work searching what I wanted to, and I can go to my active playlist, and I see the items that are on my active playlist. Now in that active playlist, I could get a permanent link to this playlist. So now this QR code and this link, I could give either one. It will take students directly to this playlist that I've already created. The other thing that I can do is add a quiz. So if I click on Add Quiz, notice I can add my own quiz. I can develop all my own assessment as students work their way through this playlist, that they would have a quiz that they would need to take. So I could choose whether they're going to see it automatically or manually. So if I click on automatic, then it's going to just start panning through the items that are in that playlist to see. There we see the flag come up, and then you'll see it spin a little bit, and then you'll see Simon Bolivar come up, and then the last thing will be the image. Now, that just gives you a quick overview of the actual video content and images. So if I go back here to the search bar, notice that I can search specifically for videos in Spanish. That's a feature within Safari Montage. And notice that I can also look for ones that have teacher guides or ones that have closed captioning enabled. Notice that I can go up here at the very top and search by subjects as well. So when I click by subjects, then I would be able to choose from the menu provided of different subjects, so I could look at specific content that might be aligned to, to that subject as well. And the other thing that I can pull from up here is by standards. So I could search the very specific standard, in this case, and look for the PA core standards. And within the PA core standards, I can search writing, for example. When I search writing, it's going to give me the actual standard itself. All right, so I can see what all of those standards are. College and career readiness, anchorness. But notice that as you start pulling these standards out, here over on the right-hand side is where you're going to see titles that are aligned to those particular standards of what you might be looking for. So the exciting thing with Safari Montage is that it's a great service to be able to use for your students in your classroom, to be able to show them content, not just videos, but some images and documents and other files that are there. And Safari keeps adding new content. So every year, take a look for something you might not have been able to find today, but maybe tomorrow or next week or next year it's going to be there. So this is truly a great service that's being provided by Lancaster-Lebanon Intermediate Unit 13, the instructional media services, to be able to align with your district's 21st century needs and environments, truly helping to maximize student learning in today's classrooms.